We live in a free country. That phrase is so fucking funny. We know freedom is based off your money.
Hey yo, people, a lot of questions to ask, a lot of questions to answer. You see what I'm saying? Oh yes, it's crazy out there. Oh God, kids having babies out there. Oh God, tell me if you're feeling no gravity in this impoverished society. Double standard without no equity. Repercussions in a triple tragedy now. So I want you tell me how you're living. I want the people tell me how you're living it now. People tell me how you're living. And tell me if you're happy how you're living it now. Whoa, ain't no betterment under this your crocodile government. You no see the dollars, them no make no sense. Minimum wage just can't pay me rent no. So the people tell me how you're living. And tell me if you happy how you're living it now. People tell me how you're living. Americans tell me how you're living it now. A lot of parents no care how the youths them flex. Many never supervise on the way they dress. Young teenagers exposed to sex without proper supervision and a consummate tech. I want the people tell me how you're living. Americans tell me how you're living it now. People tell me how you're living. Europeans tell me how you're living it now. Yo, yo, it's too crazy out there. Oh God, too much man lazy out there. Oh boy, oh God, hey. I want the taxi driver them fi live it up. All the preachers and the pastors them fi live it up. The police and the teachers them fi live it up. The dance and politicians, I want you live it up. Give the juvenile them space and make them grow up. Give them the tools, send them to school, cause knowledge can't be too much. Opportunity the youths can't get enough. And the lifestyle is so unscrupulous. How the youths them get so much big guns to bust it up. And the crime rate keep on rising up. New rules and new styles, you fi pick it up, yo. I want the people tell me how you living. Jamaicans tell me how you living it now. Americans tell me how you living, yeah. Europeans tell me how
Do you think we need a heroic story of our own to combat it?
Well, what do you have otherwise? You know, you have a life of pleasure seeking. You have no admiration for yourself if you live a life like that, right? There's contempt, there's self-contempt that's going to build, or engagement in things at a trivial level, which isn't useful, because in the final analysis, whatever your life is, it's not trivial. The suffering makes it not trivial as a baseline. You're stuck with a certain number of profound experiences, and all of them can be negative if you don't. All of them can be negative if you let the default manifest itself. But you don't get trivial, because you have to encounter your own death and the death of everyone around you and the horrors of the world. And so there's no trivial response that doesn't subject you to that with no defense and then embitter you. So yeah, there's a call to nobility in the idea of imitation of the Logos.
I don't want to be a rusty suit of armor. I just wanna be a twisted willow, so I can leave your shallow thinking far behind. I can feel the darkness in your shadows, and the melting of ice behind your troubled eyes, and the discoloration of all the words you're saying as you're hunted without mercy by your lies. I've flown so high, I'll never return, and I've been to the bottom of the dregs of your troubled soul, and I've basked in the sun of your revelations. But I guess you and I, we have different goals. So go and slay your dragons in blind amusement, and topple imagination with a song. And the moon, it plays little mind games, so you'll wonder where all the stars have gone. Listen to me.
It's more than that. It's a call to something of, well, the hypothesis is it's a call to something of cosmic significance. And I don't think that we have any right to assume that that idea is wrong. We don't understand our place in the cosmos. And, you know, if you base your analysis on size, physical size, well, there are bigger things than us. But that's not a reasonable yardstick. There isn't anything that's more complex than us, not that we know of. So why not use that as a marker? And there is something. There's an integral relationship between consciousness and being, and that isn't taken with sufficient seriousness by the materialist community. They keep, like people like Daniel Dennett, for example, and you know, he wrote a book on consciousness, which his critics, it was called Explaining Consciousness, and his critics called it Explaining Consciousness Away. And I read the book, and that is what he did as far as I'm concerned. And you know, people like Sam Harris have a real hard time with free will, and so their proclivity is to deny it. But they act out the proposition that people have free will, including themselves, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to exist in society.
I would like to know your account for free will. I'd be interested in you defining it and then telling me how it works.
Okay, I guess the easiest way to define it would be to go back to the moment of creation, or the Big Bang, as it's sometimes called in the standard model of physics. The universe, at its moment of its inception, it has to potentialize, actually has to generate a potential for itself. In that potential, it is an actualization. that is complemented. It has a logical complement, that which it is not. It is completely self-contained. In other words, it's undefined from the perspective of anything outside it. As a matter of fact, there is no outside perspective, which makes it undefined, right? It's got to define itself completely internally. And this amounts to freedom. It is externally unconstrained. All of its constraint comes from within. It's self-determined. Now the universe is composed only of itself. There's nothing else but the universe, but the identity of the universe to comprise the universe. So of course, everything in the universe inherits this elementary kind of freedom, this external non-definition. And that is why we possess free will. We really can't get out of it. There's no way to claim that everything is determined because there's nothing external to the universe that would determine it or could determine it. Without free will, there would be no such thing as responsibility. Everything would be completely determined in advance, and you really couldn't ascribe guilt or merit or anything that anybody might do because it was all determined in advance and they had no choice. For anybody to have any responsibility whatsoever for our legal system, for our moral values to mean anything at all, we must possess free will. Otherwise, it's all just going through the motions, as it were. Free will is the inception of the causal chain, and the causal chain is shaped like a loop. Free will is like the center of a loop, as it were.
Are we in some sense first movers?
Yes, every person, like the Almighty, like God Himself, is a first mover. Basically, your powers of inception owe to the fact that you are a generator of telesis, being, of course, the power to self-configure, which the universe has because there's nothing external to configure it.
People aren't very happy when you treat them like they're not at least semi-autonomous agents. And so I don't think that that's fluke. I think that we are semi-autonomous agents. Now, we don't understand how that can be possible, but I'm not willing to say that it isn't the case merely because I can't explain it, especially when I observe that people accept it behaviorally as an axiomatic proposition. So they accept it as true. They can say they don't believe it, but it doesn't matter. Well, it depends on what you think you mean when you say believe. And for me, you act out what you believe, and your conscious, your cognitive, your capacity for abstraction can divorce itself from your embodied reality and go wherever it wants. It can even propose contradictory. It can propose a worldview that isn't in alignment with the manner of your embodiment at all. That happens all the time. It happens to everyone to some degree because we're not transparent to ourselves. But well, it isn't so straightforward to determine what our place is in the world. And the thing that really got me with regards to that wasn't the good that we could do, but the harm that we can do. Because you can debate about the good we can do, but you cannot debate about the harm we can do. That's done. We know.